There may be political differences between us, but we are all Americans, and we will all work together for what we feel is best for this country. Frank?
Just to Andrews Air Force Base in Washington and Robert Abernethy of NBC News.
The only thing I have, Bob, and I understand the President's changed his mind. He's not going to talk.
We are at Andrews Air Force Base waiting for the plane to arrive here. Several thousand people.
You're on the speaker.
Several thousand people waiting for the President to arrive at Andrews Air Force Base.
We are here, members of Congress have arrived. The leaders of both the Senate and the House are here. Their wands are in cheers. We see the great jet arriving now. Here it is. It's the great plane, the United States of America, that is rolling up to the concourse here.
And here is the plane now. Made the flight back from Dallas. Plane coming in here at Andrews Air Force Base, just outside Washington.
The presidential jet, momentarily, the lights went out here at the Air Force Base. The hundreds of reporters couldn't see anything. Now the lights are back on.
Cabinet officers, diplomats, senators, congressmen. This tragedy. Come out here in the dark. And honor guard now walking up to the tail of the presidential jet.
They're from Bolling Air Force Base. They're the regular honor guard that usually dispatches the president as well as welcomes him when he returns to Washington. An Army helicopter has just landed. It's making a great deal of noise.
What you see is a special truck that has been moved up to the rear of the presidential jet. A special truck on which the coffin will be brought out. A helicopter is standing by just near the presidential jet to take the coffin away.
The men are now struggling with the casket. It appears to be the casket, struggling to get it out of the plane. The bright, shining casket is glistening in the lights here at the airport.
Casket is a dark brown in color, slightly reddish. It looks as if it's bronze.
Slowly marches away from the plane, leaving room for the elevator-like apparatus that is now being lowered. Seems to have gotten stuck. The apparatus is coming down now.
A Navy ambulance is being drawn up just near the truck, which lowered the casket from the plane. It is our understanding here that the body will be flown by helicopter from here, possibly to Bethesda Naval Hospital.
Other senators have reported that the body will be taken by helicopter straight to the White House. There is some difference of opinion as to the exact plans. Behind the casket is Mrs. Jacqueline Kennedy. To her right is her brother-in-law, the Attorney General, Robert Kennedy. They are helping her down out of that carrier that has just brought down the casket.
Mrs. Kennedy is apparently getting into the ambulance, the Navy ambulance, with the casket.
It was a very steep step that she had to jump down to get on the floor. Aides helped her do it. She was helped also by her brother-in-law, the Attorney General, Robert Kennedy.
President Lyndon Johnson and Lady Bird Johnson are standing just near the door in the rear of the presidential jet, waiting.
Mrs. Lyndon Johnson is holding the new president's hand.
And the Navy ambulance moves off with the casket.
The ambulance is going to the other side of this airport. It is supposed to deliver the casket to the helicopters that are standing by.
Moving past the Guard of Honor, a cordon of soldiers, airmen lining the field here, and behind them thousands of young airmen from Andrews Air Force Base who have come here up to the fence to see.
The Secret Service man comes down the steps of the airplane. Now, new President Lyndon Baines Johnson with his wife, Lady Bird. They're coming down the steps. They are followed by Johnson aides, including Mrs. Carpenter, Mr. Bill Moyers, former Congressman Homer Thornberry,
the head of the Secret Service on the president's right. Secretary McNamara and other officials greeting the new president. As he moves now in the direction of an Army helicopter.
That was Secretary McNamara, I think, who just leaned over and affectionately kissed Mrs. Johnson. We have heard that Lyndon Johnson, the new president,